I call that professional deism. Now, a deist is a person who believes there is a God, there is a creator. But once he created everything, he basically took a step back and said, no, you guys figure it out. I'm no longer involved. So professional deism is an attitude that, yeah, I thank God for my life, my health, and my strength. But God is not desirous to be actively involved in what I do professionally. The most consistent activity that you or I will do over the course of our life is engage in the marketplace. Why would God not be interested in the number one thing you will spend the majority of your time doing while you're on this planet? We've allowed outside external influences to shape and reshape the proper biblical perspective that Jesus taught. And Jesus said, occupy until I come. But if the Lord's giving out gifts, I want to be in that conversation. And so my mom, we would get late, maybe around 11:30, 12, all of us outside playing. She would say, okay, Marcus and Jamie, y'all go ahead and go home now. And so in order to get home, we had to run through a graveyard. And my mother would say, don't leave your brother. She would tell my older brother that. And my older brother would say what? Yes, ma'am. And so we started off walking. And then all of a sudden, he just took off running. And you can't see a thing. So he's all you can hear. That's, and then it goes. That means what? He's gone. And I'm in the graveyard. I'm just screaming. Every Jason movie, every Freddy Krueger movie, every Michael Myers movie. I could just hear. My little heart pounding in my chest. And I was finally get home, screaming, crying, and he laughing. That's my little country story. But nevertheless. So coming back full circle to the parable of the talents. That young man that received one talent, we don't know his story, but maybe he was rising to the low expectations that was placed upon his life. Maybe he didn't have parents to instill in him a sense of excellence, greatness, accomplishment, and endowment from God. Maybe he just wanted a job, and as long as I have a job, I'm good. As long as I can pay my bills on Friday, I'm good. We don't know the story of this young man, but we can make some inferences, can't we? Because we know when the Lord returned, he called this young man lazy. Basically, I'm trying to help you out. I gave you something that could change your life forever. But because you didn't recognize what I gave you, and because you didn't take risks the way I wanted you to, now I'm taking back that which I gave to you. I'm going to give it to someone who's actually going to do something with what I gave to you. So you see, the job that you have right now, the business that you have, the gifting, the skill that you have, whatever you have right now, you have to see that as raw material. You have to see that as a deposit. You have to see that as something that you're supposed to cultivate, develop, and grow, and then offer it back to God, multiply. One of the reasons why the average person doesn't see him or herself as a leader is because of that one thing, stress. Leadership brings stress. Raise your hand if you think I'm telling close to the truth. If you're a husband, you're a leader. That brings what? Stress. If you're a wife, you're a leader. That brings what? Stress. If you're children, you're following leaders. That brings what? It brings stress. If you're an employee, stress. Manager, boss. There are a few educators in here I know. Stress. Leadership necessitates stress. And the average person will do anything to get stress out of it. So things that promise stress Holler back, right? I don't think the Lord want me to do that. Or we just tell him flat out what? No, ain't doing it. Yay. Yay. Isn't that what Paul told us? He besought the Lord 3 times to what? Remove the thorn from me. And we told everybody in the world that the thorn was what? Sickness. That is a colossal misinterpretation of Scripture. Paul was referencing the stress and the cost of his life. Everywhere he went, he said, my life is in danger. They're trying to kill me. They're letting me down out of baskets over the wall. I'm having to run for my life from city to city, from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, everywhere. The messenger of Satan to buffet me, to hinder me. It wasn't sickness or disease. It was the stress of knowing that any day could be his last. And he said, Lord, give me another assignment. Give me something easier. Right? But he said, my grace is sufficient for you. It's not sufficient for your sickness, quote unquote, because the enemy is putting sickness on you per se. He said, no. My grace is sufficient for the stress associated with your leadership responsibility. Can you imagine him walking down those dark corridors, going down those dark stairs with torch lamps to the left and to the right, being led in chains, hearing the growl of lions, ready for their evening meal. And this is only because I stood up for God.